let's try this again. Take two, but it's the original take. So today's climb is for Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks. He was Battalion 12 there in Manhattan, Spanish Harlem, housed with Engine 35, Tower Ladder 14, and again Battalion 12. So this climb is dedicated to the FDNY and dedicated to his wife Teresa, his daughter Lauren, and his son Ryan. We're going 110 for Battalion Chief Marchbanks, 22-year veteran of the FDNY. He actually applied for both the NYPD and FDNY at the same time, from what I read. And of course, he picked the FDNY, and 22 years of a career, like I said. One thing I found very notable was he was a great father for Lauren. He ended up coaching her softball team from Nanuet, New York, and that's where they lived. And he was also very involved in his son Ryan's the baseball and soccer. What's up, Joe? How you doing? So this climb is dedicated again to Battalion 12, into 35, Tower Ladder 14 there, Spanish Harlem, to his wife Teresa and children Lauren and Ryan. That's what I read, Bobby. Aloha, brother. So right now, I'm taking him 110 with honor and respect given for Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks, lovingly known as Joe. He started in the fire service in 22 years, went to lieutenant, to captain, and finished at Battalion Chief with Battalion 12, Spanish Harlem. Like Lieutenant Bobby Jones just said on the typing, Battalion Chief Marchbanks was a great leader and a teacher. It said that they would actually have study groups at his station for those that were wanting to promote. And it was also said that he would teach it so you wouldn't even know that you were learning something at the time. For our brother's 22 years of service to the citizens of New York, we honor and remember. We will never forget. And right now, this is his climb, carrying him 110 floors to that symbolic top of the tower, finishing his footsteps all the way up. This 110 is dedicated to his wife Teresa, his daughter Lauren, and his son Ryan from Nanuet, New York. As I said before, he was a coach for his daughter Lauren's softball team, and he was very active with Ryan's soccer and baseball. This climb is dedicated 110 floors all the way to the top for Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks, Battalion 12 of the FDNY. This is currently the fourth climb of this tour. So we're going vertical right now for Battalion Chief Marchbanks. Going up as we speak. This one's a little bit rougher since it's 4 in a row, but I'm not going to stop until we reach the top. All the way to the 110th floor for his wife Teresa and children Lauren and Ryan. Your husband and father will never be forgotten. Like I said before his 22-year career, Joe Marchbanks, Battalion Chief, actually applied for both NYPD and FDNY at the same time. Of course, he went on to FDNY and put in a 22-year career to the citizens of New York. We will never forget his service nor sacrifice on 9/11, 2001. And right now, we're going vertical towards the 110th floor for Battalion Chief Marchbanks. They're at Battalion 12, Manhattan, Spanish Harlem, housed with engine 35 and tower letter 14. It was said he was the hub of the family. Always positive. But one thing it did say, his wife Teresa said he never bragged. He considered himself a firefighter, just like everyone. He didn't consider himself a battalion chief when he was working. He was very reserved within what he did. Right now, his 110 is to bring honor to his service and his sacrifice. So we're carrying him to the top as we speak. "30 floors, a little over 8 minutes so far in this 110 floor climb for Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks. Our brother was a son, a father, a husband. We will never forget. We will always remember the sacrifices made so that others would live. On the back of the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil in U.S. history, where the greatest rescue effort in U.S. history, where upwards of 25,000 were saved because of the heroism and bravery shown. This is the 343 commitment and still counting. 110 floors for Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks. Taking him all the way to the 110th floor as part of the initial 343 before the end still counting climbs commence, to which all of those who work the pile for days hours, days, weeks, months, until the recovery effort was complete. They will be carried to the top in their own 110 floor memorial climbs. Right now, it's part of the original commitment. Going vertical for his wife, Teresa, daughter Lauren, and son Ryan, to know he will never be forgotten. Like I said before, Battalion Chief Marchbanks gave 22 years of service, to which he was a lieutenant, a captain, and then a battalion chief. Going up, to always remember, to never forget. It's not foggy yet, but it's definitely going to get there. Condensation's starting to build in the mask, so I'm just going to keep going. This 110 floors is given in honor and respect of a job well done. 22 years of service, and for the sacrifice made so that others could live. Each brother of the initial 343 and those in the end still counting have a legacy, have a story, and that's the purpose of these climbs, to create an electronic record that they will never be forgotten, and their stories can be listened to and shared. I do this not for myself, but for our brothers, for their families, for the FDNY, and for our country. So we know that we will keep our promise and our commitment to never forget, but instead to always remember. It's not going away. 17 years later, it's still here. It's our job to keep the thoughts alive, to keep the memories going, to climb, to honor, and give respect. But right now, this is 110 floors for Battalion Chief Joe Marchbanks, Battalion 12, sitting there with Engine 35, Tower Ladder 14, in Manhattan, Spanish Harlem. So we're carrying up symbolically to the top of the tower, to the 110th floor, which after this vertical will put us over the halfway point. I'm not gonna stop till we get there. I started earlier on the first one, but then I had to go catch a door. So this one's gonna keep going now to the 110th floor. For Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks. For his wife Teresa, daughter Lauren, and son Ryan. He will always be remembered, never forgotten. This is the 4th consecutive climb in this 96-hour period that I'm working on shift. one each day, to honor another brother by taking him to the 110th floor. One climb closer towards number 200, which the 200th climb will be for Rescue 2, Brooklyn's Bulldogs, and I am blessed to say it'll be happening in New York City on my next trip out there this coming week. What a more honorable location to take that climb. So we're going to continue in getting there until we get to reach that top. Another floor closer to another climb completion. And right now we're over the halfway mark at 16 minutes and about 30 seconds. For Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks, Battalion 12. Battalion Chief Marchbanks, along with 342 other brothers, responded to the World Trade Centers after the worst terrorist attack in U.S. history occurred on U.S. soil. They were part of the greatest rescue effort in the U.S. history, where upwards of 25,000 were saved because of their heroism and bravery that was shown by each and every one. This climb is given in honor and respect for both the sacrifice and his 22 years of experience given to the citizens of New York. To let his family, Teresa, Lauren, and Ryan, know that he will never be forgotten. For Spanish Harlem out of Manhattan, Battalion 12, 35, Tower Ladder 14, and others going vertical of the 343, carrying them all the way to the top. Going there as we speak. And now we're starting to see the condensation I was talking about. We're pushing it to the top. Taking them up with honor and respect given. And now the heat is on. It may be cold outside, or in comparison, 80 something degrees, but the humidity is up from all the rain. So the condensation and my gear, beautiful combination. But right now, we're going vertical, as I said, for Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks, Battalion 12. Battalion Chief Marchbanks was very reserved, would not brag upon himself, was a leader and a great mentor. He actually had study sessions at his fire station for those who wanted to promote to the next level. It was said that he would teach in a way that you didn't even know you were learning. So for that and many more reasons, we climb. We finish their footsteps, symbolically carrying them to the 110th floor. Battalion Chief Marchbanks also had a good sense of humor. He was a family man, father to Lauren and Ryan, husband to Teresa, from the community of Nanuet, New York, where he coached Lauren's softball team and Ryan's baseball and soccer. He was very involved. So now we're continuing the climb to the 110th floor. Pushing Chief Marchbanks to the top. Coming up on almost the back end of the 6th vertical before we go to number 7, the last. For Chief, Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks, lovingly known as Joe, Battalion 12, Manhattan, Spanish Harlem. Going up for our brother who had the opportunity of going with either NYPD or FDNY. He chose FDNY, put in 22 years of service, and completed his last assignment as Battalion Chief, Battalion 12, when he responded to the World Trade Center. We cannot forget the sacrifices made, that heroism and bravery that was shown. Almost there. One more vertical, and then it's only a few more floors for this 110 floors for Battalion Chief Marchbanks. For those interested, this is the 196th climb today, since the 343 commitment and still counting started August of 2016. The 200th climb will be in New York City next weekend. Location is still to be determined, but it'll definitely happen. Carrying Chief Marchbanks to the top. For his wife Teresa and son and daughter Ryan and Lauren, we will never forget. We will always remember. So right now, we're on that last vertical, pushing those last steps to that 110th floor. Going there as the 4th climb of this 96-hour shift that I'm working right now. for Manhattan, Spanish Harlem. This 110 is dedicated to Engine 35, Tower Ladder 14, Battalion 12. Pushing all the way to the top. Almost there. Almost to that finish of this vertical. And it's downhill the last few floors. Going there in honor and respect for our brother who started as a firefighter, ranked to lieutenant and captain, and battalion chief at Battalion 12. All right, we are officially almost there. 101 floors of this climb. Slow it up a little bit since we're on the low side again. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of cooling time real quick before that last push to the finish line. Almost there. For Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks, Manhattan, Spanish Harlem, Battalion 12, Engine 35, Tower Ladder 14. Pushing him until we finish it. Going all the way as we speak. Coming up on the last few floors in this 110 floor memorial climb for Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks, for his wife Teresa, his daughter Lauren, his son Ryan. Almost there, 3 more floors, and this climb is complete. For Spanish Harlem, there in Manhattan, dedicated to the FDNY. The 343 commitment is still counting. There's an honor climb for each of the 343, followed by the end still counting. To his family left behind, Teresa, Lauren, and Ryan, your husband and father will always be remembered, will never be forgotten. To his 22-year career in the FDNY, Battalion Chief Joseph Marchbanks, Battalion 12. Rest easy, Chief. we'll take it from here.